evening. Let me know if you can hear me out there. We are on. We are on, and we are about to elevate. This is about to be an experience. All right, this is about to be an experience. And I have gratitude for you coming out tonight. I always say if you ever make it to one of my live streams, you are on here for a reason. So, first thing first, I see a lot of you guys are out there in the chat. I see everybody from all over the country. Um, we about to get this thing elevated. So I got to ask you guys a question, right? Oftentimes, when the year turns on the Gregorian calendar, we often feel as if it's our year, right? It's our time. And I want you guys to understand that it can be, it will be, and if you pay close attention over these next 3 days, it's going to be, okay? Because I'm gonna introduce you guys to some things and some concepts and some stuff that oftentimes, well, more than not, no one really knows about to a certain extent. So before I get this call started, I want you guys to ask, I want to ask you a question. As this new year comes, as it's been going, who is really ready to say, you know what, I'm done with the old me? Like, I'm really done, right? Who's tired of saying, you know what, this is my year, but you really don't know the direction that you have to take to make it your year? See, what happens over time as we become adults in this lifetime, we become sick, we become tired, we become mentally exhausted. We have brain fog. We go through warfare. We go through spiritual imbalances. We go through inflammation. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you don't know, if you don't, I ate raw fruits and vegetables for 90 days and it ended up being a year, and it completely changed my life. And all I want to do now is I want to share that information with as many people as possible to give you the opportunity to see what can actually happen when you start living from the inside out. See, in this new year, yes, we do have to work on the external, but I want this to be the year that you work on the internal as well. Or this may be the year that you only work on the internal. Sometimes you got to set up the year that's going to be your year. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to set up that year, right? I went through that process. It was a setup year, right? Because I had to figure out exactly what was the components that was really going to drive me to that level of elevation that I was looking for, the level that God has for us. Because I'm going to tell you guys, today we're going to talk about some things that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know. And I have to use the word they because I can't use certain words because they are also watching as well. But we don't care about that because we're about to get the truth. We're about to get down to the truth. So drop some lightning bolts in my comments. Drop some fire signs in my comments because it's about to go crazy. It's about to go crazy. And this is just day one. We got 3 days of this. So let me give you guys a recap. Day one, the truth they don't want me to tell. Day two, we're going to talk deeper on how to detox your body on a cellular level. Day three, we'll be going into why you are not lazy, depressed, a failure, or any of those things that you may think you are. You're not having all these things going on. We're going to really go into those things. So let's go. Drop some lightning bolts in the comments. Let me tell you some cold, hard truths, right? We're only on this earth for a limited time, right? We're only on the earth for a limited time. Our life expectancy is around 75, 76, right? And after childhood, we spend a lot of our time trying to figure ourselves out, right? You may spend a lot of your time trying to find actual peace. Like we get old and we just start trying to find peace, right? The peace that we had when we were a child, when we didn't have all the worldly obligations, when things didn't beat us down, we weren't susceptible to the environmental toxins and all the things that are going on in the processed foods and the chemicals and the marketing and everything that's been shoved down our throats. We weren't susceptible to it because we were just having this childlike curiosity and running through life, right? Nothing mattered. But when we became adults, we get aches, pains, inflammation, all these things, headaches, anxiety, we got kids, bills, credit, TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, all these things going on. And we're trying to figure out how do we make sense of it all? And then we go into the new year. A lot of us go into the church. The pastor says, this is your year. It's time for you to shine. And we go, we believe, we tithe, we do all these things. And then we end up in the same place in the cycle. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is a difference that you can have this year, right? So before I go any further, do you want to show up in the world as your authentic self, your highest self? Do you want this year to not be a year where you backslide and feel soulless? Do you really want to know what that level of existence looks for you, what it looks like for you? right? Because I'm gonna tell you, this is the first thing they don't want you to know, because I've experienced it. They don't want you to know that there's a level of existence for your life that you have not experienced yet. And a lot of people are banking on you never getting there. Like there's a level beyond who you are right now that is waiting for you. It is waiting for you to unlock it, right? There's a level for you, because what happens is over time we become sleep. And the number one thing that keeps us there is what we eat, right? It keeps us in these sedated states, what we watch, and then the marketing around it. It keeps us in these states of being sleep. There is a level of brilliance for you. There's a level of income for you. There's a level of connection for you. There's a level of peace for you. There's a level of all types of abundance for you that you do not even know exist. And most people go to their deathbed never even seeing what that level looks like. They never get there. And that's all part of the master plan for you not to get there, right? There can be heaven on earth, right? There can be heaven on earth, right? So a lot of these things aren't your fault either. You know, a lot of these things aren't your fault, because in this world, we are exposed on a day-to-day basis to environmental toxins, stressors, stress. There are so many toxic things in the air. There's so many things in the food, and we don't have a blueprint on how we're supposed to go about this lifetime, right? So we just go day by day by day, you know, blindlessly, you know, running through the world. But I'm here to shake that up a little bit, right? Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why these things happen. The reason why we aren't able to reach these levels of elevation is because of our cells, right? What happens is our cells get hijacked. These are what we need. Our cells are the data. That's everything we need. They're the building blocks that give us life, right? And because our cells get hijacked, we become acidic, right? And the foods we eat aid us to becoming acidic, and it creates inflammation within the body. And inflammation is the root cause of all disease. Say what you want, it's inflammation. Right? Inflammation. I was inflamed at one point. I was regular vegan for 6 years and I was inflamed. I can show you guys some pictures later on. You know, when life started to hit me, I realized that it was inflammation. See, what they're going to tell you this is what they'll tell you. They'll tell you, oh, that's just common, right? And then they want to give you a reoccurring subscription. I said a reoccurring subscription of an orange cylinder, right? And you take that forever. Now I'm going to ask you a question, guys. I'm gonna ask you a question. If what they were giving you was supposed to treat you, why don't you ever become healed? Right? Why don't you ever become healed? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. Why aren't we ever healed? Why are we always moving from one thing, one person, one doctor to the other? Why don't we ever heal ourselves? What does that really take? Inflammation is the root cause of all these. If you look up prescriptions, I think 2 out of the top 3 prescriptions are for inflammation. And guess what? Inflammation, it can be, we can fix that with the food, right? Because our cells, right now, it's big business. It's big business to keep you on these subscriptions. These prescriptions, it's big business, right? Now I would have to ask myself, if I was in that industry, why would I ever want you to be healed? You my customer. Right? It's like you in the streets. Why would I ever want my customer to get off what I'm selling them? So who's the real drug dealer? Make you think, right? Who's really corrupting the culture and society? Like on a bigger level, let's think about that. Do you think you were ever meant to be healed by the people you go to for care? But listen, we're going to get a little deeper into that, right? Because I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you a secret, right? Let me tell you something about the industry. I'm going to just say the industry because I can't say certain words, but I'm going to tell you about the industry. See, your doctor, the doctors, guess who they're informed by when it comes down to the subscriptions and the prescriptions? They're informed by the pharmaceutical companies. So when your doctor buys subscriptions, when he brings them to the office and stuff like that, he's sold that, like the sales rep that's not a doctor tells them what this is for, right? Doctor's job is not to know what your subscriptions are for, right? They're informed by the pharmaceutical company. Now, The pharmaceutical company is in this for money. We listen, we are the client, right? So let me say that one more time. The people that are supposed to heal us are informed by people that have no and they have no vested interest in you being healed. Right? It's a question. It's just questions. I'm just here to bring awareness, confirmation, and truth. Let me ask you guys. Let me pause as well. If there's too much, I can get off here right now. But if I can keep going, I just need you to type "go deeper" in the comments. Make sure 10 more people get on this live stream. Right? Because this could be too much. This could be too much, right? So the question you want to ask yourself is, when does it stop? Today is the day. Today is the day. This is one of them days where I'm gonna blow the thing wide open, because a lot of us that even seem healthy, we still may be sick, right? We still may be sick inside out. It could be some inflammation. It could be some things that we're going through, right, on a daily basis. So I'm gonna bring up a picture of myself real quick, right? I don't know if you guys seen this picture before, because I'm not a guy. I never intended on being a raw vegan teacher or a holistic detox. Like, it was just something that I did for myself, right? So I never really intended on this being what it is. But I said, once I got the information, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and put it out there. So let me add this to this, right? This was a picture of me on the left. That was a picture of me when I was at the end of my rope, right? I was done. Life had taken its toll on me. I was going through spiritual warfare. I was going through relationship stuff. Now, this may not look too bad to some people, but this was bad for me in terms of like how I used to look. I used to be about 210, 10% body fat, things of that nature. The picture on the right is after I decided to do raw vegan for 90 days, right? I went 90 days straight, fruits and vegetables, right? Now, I lost weight, right? But I cleansed my entire system. I cleansed my entire body, right? I got everything back. Right. I got a lot of the things that I thought I lost. And then a lot of people ask me about the raw vegan. Raw vegan, when you lose your weight, I feel like that's a physical representation of everything that you need to lose. So many things were stripped off me. So many vices, so many things that I had committed to, so many, emotional traumas just left with me during that experience, 90 days. Now, I'm not telling everybody you got to do 90 days. You guys know I have a 14-day raw vegan challenge that you have the opportunity to join. But this is what happened, y'all, right? And this was without working out. I didn't work out one time. I just detoxed. I just cleansed my body, and this experience for me was so insightful and so in-depthful that it took me to a whole nother. Now, look at me now, guys. Let me try to put I'm going to take this down for a second. So I was able to put the muscle, I'm still here, as you guys can see. So sometimes you got to break down to build back up. A lot of people, when I went raw vegan, they was like, what are you doing? I got so many people that cursed my name because I was taking care of myself. I knew in the back of my head, I said, listen, this is a time period for me to gain exposure to another level of living, to build more armor. God had me sitting in a waiting room. I had to pray. I had to meditate. I had to really realize that this was what I was doing for myself, right? And this is just a time period, guys. When you decide to go raw vegan, or when you decide to detox, when you decide to cleanse, this is just for a time, right? A time in your life. If we never take the step, we're never going to get there. How many of you guys are tired of not getting there, right? How many guys are tired of not getting there? If we never take the step, we never get there, right? And there's a place for you that's waiting for you, another level of existence. There are so many truths that underlie so many things that we think are common in this world. They don't even really mean anything, because once you have this, once you get yourself back, once you understand what's going on in your body, you don't want to be to the point where most people, once we become age 30 or over, you get to the point where your body is just this thing and you don't know much about it, but you let other people tell you what you should be doing with it. When it malfunctions, it's like a foreign car. You don't really know much about it, but you just you got to take it to the mechanic. See, me at this point in my life, when you start to go deeper into yourself, when you start to cleanse, when you start to remove all the external things that they don't want you to remove, you start to really understand who you are. See, when I go out, I know what my body's doing. When I eat, I know what my body's doing, right? I have awareness of self, right? We need awareness of self. It's cool to do the self-love bubble bath. It's cool to do that. You can light the incense all you want, right? You can say the affirmations, you can post the quotes, but are you really going to do the work to figure out who you really are on the inside and cleanse that from the inside? Who's ready to do that type of work? And it all starts with the food. See, the food seems so, see, what they've done is they made the food seem so like nonchalant. It's just so nonchalant. Just throw some ketchup on that. Just throw some barbecue sauce on that. Just eat the bread that's going to spike your sugar levels and move into processed fat. Just do that. Just do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. And we just bring out a new 5 for $5. It's just a new burger. And we just see it over and over again. But you got to stop one day and say, nah, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's what I started doing. Right? I mean, I don't know about that. Why I got a headache? Why I'm eating and getting a headache? Why I'm eating and getting tired? Why I'm sleeping and waking up with mucus all up in my throat? Why my nose all stuffy? Why I got all this sleep in my eyes? I started asking those type of questions, right? Why my back hurt? Why can't I do my deadlifts like I used to? Why is it all this inflammation? Why I keep going to the physical therapist and they telling me it's nothing wrong? I go to physical therapy and I keep getting injured. Inflammation all in my lower back, inflammation all in my groin and my hamstrings from lifting weight so much and just pounding burgers and all this stuff. Why? Start asking why, right? Right? Now I'm gonna tell you something, guys, that they don't want you to know is your brain and gut, they share pathways. There are neurotransmitters in your gut. Right, that's why they call it the second brain. You ever heard it called a gut feeling for a reason, right? So a lot of us can't even trust our gut and our instinct because our gut is all compromised. It's compromised. We don't know what's going on, so that the pathways is messed up. I was there, y'all. After I went raw vegan, my focus got clear. I was walking around in La La Land sometimes, and it was a great La La Land. I felt like I was connected straight to God. No cat, right? Right? Like, and if you guys don't know what neurotransmitters are, these are your body's chemical messengers. So you have chemical messengers in your gut. Now, if your gut is compromised, do you think they're messaging correctly or have the parasites taken over? Sometimes we do things, it is not even us. I mean, this goes so deep. It goes so deep, like to the point where sometimes a lot of people don't even know they're not even in control. Like they have parasitic override in their body, meaning that they're doing things not based on what they want to do, but it's based on the parasitic override in their life. Like the parasites have taken control. Like it's that deep. Right? So the molecules used by the neurotransmitters, they transmit messages between your neurons and your muscles as well. So when you're feeling pain and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where that's coming from. Right. And let's bring this up, right? Because I like to let's put some scripture in it, right? Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and prove what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Now, I want to look at this for a second. Because I kind of like went into this and hold on one second. I want to look at this for a second. Let me add it again. All right. Anyway, so let's just think about that for a second though. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, if I just told you guys that your mind, if you have your brain, you have that mind, but if I just told you that your gut and your brain share neural pathways, shouldn't we be renewing more than just this mind? And wouldn't this have an effect on how this mind gets renewed? So people aren't even able to really truly renew themselves because you won't renew your mind. And let's go even deeper. Why do you think so many people fast in ancient times and biblical times, right? Why do you think after you fast, you come out this brand new person? Why did they fast and have all these new revelations? Didn't I just tell you there was another level of existence waiting for you that you didn't even know about? Didn't I just tell you that? Why did when he refused to eat the royal rations, but he decided to eat fruits and vegetables, he said, I'm not eating the royal rations. I'm gonna eat fruits and vegetables. Why did they say he came out looking healthier than all the men that ate the royal rations of the nations? Why did that happen? But listen, see, we can look at ancient times, we can look at the Bible, and we could just say, oh, that's just a story. But then you could have people that actually experience it, like me. I'm sitting here, I'm rolling the flesh. I'm not on a rock with a stick, talk about like I'm really here. And I'm telling y'all, I just showed y'all a picture. Like I just showed you a picture of how this thing really works. Nah, it's true. See, I'm not a person that's just going to read and tell you I'm going to go through the fire and come out smelling like no smoke. It's a fire for you to go through right now. I'm here to tell you, this is the uncomfortable truth that you got to go through the fire, right? I'm just telling you from experience, though. Like, I'm not telling you, like, I'm not just going to read you and say, this your year, you know what I'm saying? Have a good year, be a good person, and this all going to make sense. I can't do that for you. But I can tell you, if you do what I'm telling you right now, or if you take some type of step to change the inside, things can change. All right. Now, some of these truths, let's go back. Let's look at it again. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? I just told you guys again that your gut and your brain, they share a neural path. This is science, and this is where science meets. This because what happens is science will give you a little bit, but science takes too long. They give you a little bit. We can't keep waiting for science to understand it. Science might confirm this with spirituality, maybe in 30, 40 years. I don't know. We can't wait, though. I stopped waiting on science because science takes too long. It took science 7,000 studies to understand that cigarettes were linked to lung cancer. They had doctors on commercials smoking cigarettes. But what type of cigarette are you smoking today? The doctor is smoking it. Like, come on, man. This gets me a little hype. Let me bring it. Do I need to bring it down? I know I'll be getting amped. All right. Because I just really want you guys to grasp what I'm saying. Right. All right, guys. So let's go on. Let's keep going. Can I keep it going? 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 Let me know if I can keep it going, man. This is just what they don't want me to tell you. All right. If you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't. Right. There's so many studies coming out because now if you follow the money, I'm a big believer. I'm a businessman, guys. I own multiple companies, but I like to follow the money because the money, in my opinion, is the energy exchange that we use to create opportunities and freedom, right? Inside this matrix. So if you get enough of it, you can free yourself in different arenas, right? But you got to understand it for what it is. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But I do like to follow it because when you follow it, you see where things are going in the world. First of all, a lot of the top income earners in this world, man, behind the scenes, they be plant-based, right? And some of them, they understand this. They're like, oh man, we trying to live longer. They understand this. They're going all types of different diets, all types of stuff, y'all. And they letting us in these food deserts that have been created, systematically to keep us in certain levels of vibration. Let's keep pumping that into the hood, right? Let's keep pumping that into the hood. And that brings me to my next thing is we have a learned relationship with food that we didn't even teach ourselves. That's crazy, right? Like this is literally a rewiring of your brain right now. Most of us have a learned relationship with food that we did not teach ourselves. We just accepted it because we didn't know that we had been indoctrinated into a system that was not built for us to be successful with our food. See, the food industry, they're not interested in your health. You got to be interested in your health and apply it to the food industry, right? So they don't want you to know this, right? Because let's say back in the day, right? When we grow up, we were rewarded. You go to a party, it's hit the piñata, Tootsie Rolls fall out. Yay, everybody has a good time. Why wasn't it hit the piñata, a fruit smoothie fall out? Why didn't we get that reward? See, it's not that the food, oh my God, listen, it's whatever we learn. We're habitual creatures. People say, well, how do you eat raw fruits and vegetables? You learn, it's a habit, you pick it up, and then you see that it's better for you. But if we don't learn that when we're younger, we're just going to habitually go into these things. And now we're thinking that these things are good. We're thinking that these good are satisfying, but they're really not. It's just a learned behavior because as humans, we just become habitual. Your brain likes to take the path of least resistance. It's a survival mechanism. It's not here to make all these crazy decisions. Another thing about your brain, though, but your brain, it holds 20% of the energy that you use in your body on a day-to-day basis. So think about this. Your brain is like 3 pounds, I don't know, something like that, right? But your brain is actually responsible for using 20 to 25% of your body's energy, right? So if you got bad things, bad chemicals, all these things going to your brain, and your brain's responsible for that, what do you think is going to happen to you? A whole quarter of your energy is going to this thing, and you're not even renewing it. All right. So let me get back to that because I went off a little bit, but we learn unhealthy habits. Soda, Coca-Cola. They be cleaning toilets with Coca-Cola, right? Toilets get cleaned with Coca-Cola. It's crazy. And we've learned these addictive habits since we were kids. So in my opinion, like disease does not run in families. Bad eating habits run in families, a learned condition. I'm not saying it's all our fault though, right? It's not all our fault. Because we got to think now after this, let's talk about fruit, right? Because fruit heals the body. H3O in the fruit, you know, what it does, it cleanses the body. So good for the body. We're going to talk so much more about fruit tomorrow. But today we're just talking about what they don't want you to know. But the fruit we've grown in our life has been passed down, right? And if you want new fruit, like look at the fruit that you've bared in your life. Has it been inflammation? Has it been chemical imbalances? Has it been spiritual imbalances? Has it been spiritual warfare? Has it been digestion issues? Right? Has it been any of those things? Just look at the fruit that you've bared in your life. Right? And if you don't like and when you go out into a farm or you plant a garden, if you don't like the fruit, what you do is you got to change the roots of the fruit. And how you change the roots is you got to change the seed. And how you change the seed is you change what's planted. Right? So who's ready to plant new seeds? Right? We can't keep trying to bear new fruit without planting new seeds. Right? And now as we starting to learn over these last 4 years, because there's been this hyper movement towards trying to be healthy and holistic, because what's happening is we haven't been able to keep up with how fast the world is moving against us. It's like had this hyper jump since the pandemic. Like we were chilling in 2019. And who remember you were just chilling in 2019 and like the things just got super real in 2020. Like it was like this big boom. 2021 hit you, 2022 hit you, 2023 smacked you, right? So there's been this hyper like thing. So everybody's been kind of scrambling, trying to figure out like, all right, how do I reground myself, right? That's like kind of been the conciseness. Like I'm trying to like everybody just like on this little wheel is like new money, health, you know, all types of stuff going on, right? So we got to plant new seeds. So this is the time, like I know we got outside obligations. I know we have worldly obligations. I know we have duties to this world. I know we have families, but we have to remember ourselves, right? Because none of this means nothing if you can't experience it and fulfill it and enjoy it, right? It don't mean anything. What does it mean, right? So think about this, right? Think about this though. If we're trying to plant new seeds, we can't rely on the industry to give us the answers. We can't rely on the industry to give us the answers. The answers that we've gotten from the industry so far has gotten us this far. It got me that far. I showed you guys the picture. I can give you guys, you know, testaments and things that have happened in my life, right? Right? So we can't rely on the industry to give us any answers because the industry doesn't pay any attention. Listen, the food industry doesn't pay any attention to the health industry, right? And the health industry doesn't pay any attention to the food industry. They don't work together. So there has to be a split. There has to be a division right there where you insert yourself and you start paying attention. You have to start paying attention. Because when I talked about the brain earlier, food is probably the biggest driver of the function of the brain when it comes to mood, behavior, attention, and memory, right? Wondering why we can't focus. Not to mention you got social media feeding you things every 3 minutes, every 30 seconds. You could be listening to me one time trying to help you. Next thing you know, you watching cat videos, or you on Shade Room looking at the latest information, or you watching something crazy. That's how our distraction is so skewed. We can't focus for more than 10 seconds. And then everybody's trying to run to the same places you're distracted to get the answers. Good thing I'm on here trying to do some good. And the reason why I do these streams on YouTube is because I feel like everybody can kind of focus on YouTube. We're here for one reason, right? Now, when you start to elevate, when you go raw vegan, guys, when you start planting these new seeds, like your life can start to change, but it may not be good from the beginning. But think about it. I always tell people this is what they don't want you to know either. When you introduce something that's supposed to be good for you and you have like maybe a negative reaction, they automatically make you say no. That's why most people don't do raw vegan. That's why most people stop. It's because they're used to the reaction they've been getting, the sedated reaction, the dopamine triggers and all the other stuff and the chemicals and all that and the acid breaking down. You're used to that. So when something else that's introduced that's supposed to be good for you, you can't handle it, right? But think about it. How I reverse engineer that is I'm like, damn, if I know I'm not feeling good this way and I introduce something into my body that's supposed to be good and I have a negative reaction, maybe it's me and maybe it's not the thing that I'm introducing. because the things that I have been doing have been helping me feel good at the time, but over time, in truth, I don't feel good at all. I can't sleep. I have a mental brain fog. I got all types of things going on, right? Y'all still with me? Are y'all still with me? So like any type of food like that you eat in its purest form, right? Its purest form contains natural energy from the sun, right? And that that energy vibrates at a certain frequency. And that frequency benefits both your physical and spiritual health. So when you look at the raw vegan community, or you look at the people on YouTube, I know a lot of them may not be relatable to some people, because some of them are, living an island lifestyle. They may be, super slim and things of that nature, things that aren't relatable, but them people happy and like really happy. They be trying, I'm like, yo, the raw vegan, like my raw vegan community people, they be happy. They be like for real. Like it's a true inner happiness, right? It's just years and years of conditioning. And one thing you got to ask yourself too, if it took you 10, 20 years to get to a point that you're at right now, you can't be mad if the things that you want to happen don't happen in 1 month. Like you've been doing this for 20 years, right? I used to tell my clients that I've helped over 300,000 people in some form, just in the health and fitness industry, start the path to getting in the best shape of their life. And what I've always learned, the number one deterrent from people that had a hiccup was they didn't realize how long it took them to get to an unfavorable spot. And they weren't willing to put the time in to say, you know what, I did this, but now it's time for me to do this. And I got to give this the same energy that I gave that. Because it was the same energy when you was in the club every 2 weeks for 10 years, you popping bio, it's Hennessy, it's fish fries, it's everything. It's up. I'm having a lot of fun, right? It's up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's lit, it's Cheetos, it's Doritos on your fingers, it's crunch, 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 it's late night Klondike bars, it's your kid's snack, they watching TV, you sneaking the Capri Sun, you sipping it down, like it's all good. But the moment some grapes and some watermelons and some stuff getting you, I can't do that for too long. It's taking too long. I want the quick fix. I'm gonna go back to the guys with the white coats. I'm gonna let them put me on something, sedate me for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That might work for me. I might do that. Right? So listen, guys, like the root cause, like I said, for all things, it's inflammation. Inflammation, where does it come from? The foods we eat. Cardiovascular, autoimmune, neurological, that's the root cause. And I'm gonna tell you guys, let's think about this, right? Let's think about this. Just let's really, I want everybody to just breathe for a second, right? Because we got to start making common sense decisions with our life. Common sense. We don't make common sense when the outcome of common sense is not pleasurable. We seem to get stupid and dumb. If it's not pleasurable, common sense goes out the door. Only if it's pleasurable do we use common sense. Let's use common sense for a second. I'm gonna do a common sense exercise. We've had so many technological advancements. Cars, electric cars, AI. We damn near got robots running around in clones. Right? Don't you think by now there'd be an answer to help us mentally, physically, and spiritually? Like with all the information and things we doing, they doing rocket ships, all types of stuff. Don't you think things should be healed? Things are deemed incurable. Don't you think we would have found that by now? We got AI, Chat GP. We got all this stuff that just keep coming up. Cars about to be flying soon. Don't you think if they really wanted to, it would have been done? That's how I started. I'm like, man, if they really wanted to, this should have been done by now, right? Because we got all this other stuff we got robots running around. Self-checkout came out in Self-checkout came out like 10 years ago. They started getting cashiers out of here. So those are questions you got to ask yourself, right? Now, even with me, so here's the thing, right? I like it these days because these days I got a little backup. There's a new documentary that just came out on Netflix. It's called You Are What You Eat. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It just came out. A lot of stuff that I'm saying, that I've been saying, that a lot of people have been saying is now becoming mainstream. It's on Netflix. Like it's out there. Like we ain't got to be like, oh, geez, crazy. Nah, it's out there. Right? Now, there was a story on You Are What You Eat that really resonated with me, right? Because this is a public figure. The mayor of New York, Eric Adams, he was the mayor of New York. He woke up one morning, mayor of New York, he couldn't see his alarm clock, right? He said he was having stomach pains. The doctor said he had an ulcer, and then they told him he had type 2 diabetes, right? They told him he would have to get on medication. They told him, this is your diabetes plan. And he said, I ain't going for that. He said, I ain't going for that. You know, that man went on to say, you know what? He healed himself, well, on a plant-based diet. That's what he did. That's what he said he did. I didn't say it. The mayor of New York said that. A whole food plant-based diet. He said that. Right? And then he said that he sent a book about what he had been doing to his doctor. And his doctor said, man, they didn't teach me this in medical school. He said it, I didn't. That was the mayor of New York. Right? Because what we put in our mouth is more important than anything else. Right? And here's some studies that came out via that documentary. One of the things they do is they get very, very tricky with the words. This came straight from the documentary. It says that the USDA will never say eat less meat, but the USDA will say eat less saturated fat. But we know meat is loaded with saturated fat, and what saturated fat does to the body, it creates so many complications, right? And they also said the USDA they're confusing on purpose. Like instead of saying eat less meat, they'll say less than 10% of your diet should come from saturated fat. Now we know the meat market is multi-billion-dollar industry. So if it's saying eat less, they know to tell you to eat less, but they're not going to tell you to eat less meat. They're going to tell you to eat less saturated fat. Very, 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 very aha moment there, right? Right. And even from the documentary as well, the World Health Organization, they finally did a study. Because you got to think about it. You got to really start doing studies. You really got to start doing studies when things really start happening. Like this thing is getting crazy because more people are, we had COVID and more people that was in these food deserts was dying of COVID because they was already about to go anyway. So they just went because these crazy things that have been happening in our world. And they finally did a study showing that the World Health Organization finally did a study that says showing that eating processed meats increases the risk of colon cancer along with red meat. And processed meats are a known carcinogen. So like they put it out there. It's out there now. Like it's like if you were on any of my live streams last year, you don't have to you could be like, gee. But the actual guys have put the studies out. So you don't even have to listen to me. You can literally go Google it now. You feel me? And we can't wait for science to catch up. Like I'm not waiting for science to catch up. So I got some questions for you guys. As we go into the next part of this. I didn't tell you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. But who feels like right now that they are actually ready to change? Like in their heart and in their spirit, they feel like they're ready to change. Like if you feel like anything that I've said to you has resonated with your soul, right? The documentary is called You Are What You Eat. Because I'm about to go a little deeper. Can I go deeper? I just want to know because it can get a little uncomfortable. Some of y'all might hop off of this. Okay. I started this live by saying there's a level for you that you don't even know exists. I'm going to tell you something. Once you guys start to go towards that level, life changes, right? There's some armor that you need for the warfare that's going to be going on out here. And you're chosen to be on this call for a reason, right? I don't think I just speak to anybody. And I really don't care about how many people. I try to expose as much as I can. But I'm telling you right now, you're here for a reason. So some of the things that you've been dealing with on a day-to-day basis, some of the things you've been dealing with for the last couple of years, it can stop today. There's an opposite reaction for every reaction that you're going through. You just don't know how to get to the opposite. And the opposite is you cleansing yourself on a cellular level. See, this thing is even more spiritual than it is anything else. I have to talk about raw vegan because that'll entice you. Oh, raw vegan detox, but this goes way deeper than that. right? There are things that you need to go through right now. There's a waiting room that you need to sit in. There's an experience that you need to have with yourself. There's experiences that you need to have with God. There's some praying that you got to do for you to experience what you're supposed to get out of life. And it's not over. It's never too late to be who you were supposed to be. See, I have so much now reference points from my journey. As I was going through it, I was sharing it. And at times I thought, well, man, what is this all for? What does this all mean? But you got to understand, guys, we are still spiritual beings having a human experience, right? Now, we can't go stage left and just be all spiritual because we do have some human obligations, meaning that we got to get the spirit right to know when we can tap into and how to use and how to build the armor within ourselves. And if you don't understand that there's an agenda against you tapping into that, you sleep, right? There's some things that you got to do. There's some stuff you got to clean out. Now, a lot of y'all are going to take this information, y'all going to take this call, and you're not going to do anything. But I'm looking for some people that's going to do something. Now, I have to toe a line when I do this because, listen, I still got worldly obligations. Let me tell you how this world works, right? We are in like a tri-level matrix here, right? We got the regular matrix, which is the world. We got the social media, it has its own rules and governing boards and things of that nature, what you can and what you can't do. A machine that's running an algorithm that's constantly feeding you, oh, it's real. And sometimes you got to dip in, but you don't want to just be in there being asleep because we do have to operate in it. But if you want to have some freedom within this thing, you're going to have to do some things that you need to do. You need to renew your mind. Are we going to go deeper in day 2 and day 3? Right? Like you really got to follow those things because it's coming to fruition now that the world has more anxiety, more stress, more angst, more uncertainty than anything. We got all types of stuff going on. Right? So the fuel and your power and your passion has to come from the inside. You got to tap into that space. And that space has been cluttered. That space has been hijacked. Right? It's not all you. You're not in control anymore. The moment we think we're in control, that's when chaos steps in. I thought I was in control. And you're not going to be perfect, y'all. You're not going to be perfect. You are not going to be perfect. But the pursuit is what counts. The pursuit is what counts. Everybody type pursuit. Type pursuit. You got to pursue. If you're on this call, you have to be ready to pursue. You got to be ready to go and live for yourself and for what you were really made for. Because there is an opposing force. Think about it. I know this for a fact. They want us to forget that we're spiritual. Like there are miracle signs and wonders that can happen. They want us to forget that the supernatural is the supernatural. Like this world there's so many things going on right now. We only see like 0.2 or 3 about what's really going on. Believe you, I've been in many states. I've done many things that I haven't put out in the real world or in this world. But there are things going on, and everything does not want you to win. But if you take control of yourself and understand that what you are, what you eat, let food be thy medicine. We talked about it. We're going to talk about it all about Genesis. Look, we can go to the book of John. Yeshua was performing signs and everybody asking him, what are you doing? Don't ask me what I'm doing. I'm performing right now. I'm walking. He wasn't asking. He was telling. Right? So you guys got to understand these things. The pursuit is what counts. Right? The pursuit is what counts. They want you to just be asleep, man. And it's time we're not doing that no more. And so then what happens, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret that I use, right? It's this little secret. You can then pose as you like to, and you can know the truth and you don't even have to share it. See, there are certain arenas where I use what I know, and there's certain arenas where I just pose. I use an avatar. Okay, I'm just in this world, but I'm not of this world, but I can act like I'm of this world because I know to get what I need from this world and go back out this world, sometimes I got to go in here and get it a little bit. I got to get a little dirty. See, this is where I think a lot of my, I don't want to call them gurus or spiritual gurus, but they go stage left, not realizing that a lot of people still have worldly obligations. And there is a line that you can play once you understand how to do it, how to really wake yourself up. Like you can get in and understand it. Like it's a little bit of chess, but it starts here, right? It starts here, right? It's a little bit of chess, but it starts here. And I want you to start here. Now, day 2, we're going to be talking about how to detox on a cellular level. But right now, I'm going to give some people some opportunities, man. I'm going to give y'all some opportunities because I said this is what's going to happen. This 3 days of coaching is not going to stop. But if you guys all know, I don't know if you ever seen, I have a 14-day raw vegan challenge that takes this even deeper, where you get 14 days of coaching, you get detox guides, you get herbal teas, you get detox friendly workouts, you get everything you need to support yourself during this journey. I put this all together. It took me hours and hours and hours in compilation and time to put this stuff together, right? And I've shared it with thousands of people last year, and I closed it because it was getting overwhelming. I closed it. It was too many people, and it was too much demand. Like I told you, I have other businesses, but right now, guys, we're going to keep this going, but you need to join the Raw Vegan Challenge right now. You join the Raw Vegan Challenge, you become part of my community. We got a Telegram group. It's a private Telegram group. It's thousands of people in the Telegram group right now that joined last year. So it's an extreme awakening. You can go to the rawveganchallenge.com if you want to join the 14-day Raw Vegan Challenge. There's 3 access levels for you to join from. You read the access levels and you pick the level that's best for you, right? You pick the level that's best for you. Because I wanted to put together something, and it took a lot of my team, it took a lot of me, it took a lot of time, it took a lot of finances, thousands and thousands of dollars of finances to put all this information together, videographers, everything to package this up. Because what I did was I took all this information I'm giving you guys on these 3 days, I put it in one place, and now I'm coaching you through the entire journey, right? And if you go, when you see the landing page, go to the rawveganchallenge.com. I'm gonna put it right here. You're gonna get an email too. I'll put it here in the chat. When you go to the rawveganchallenge.com, you're going to see all the testimonies on the page, right? You're going to see all the testimonies on the page. I'm trying to put this in the chat right here. And you're going to get an email as well, but go to the rawveganchallenge.com, right? And you get to go through the entire process. So I told you what happens is, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a secret about this life, about how it works. I told you everything's perfectly balanced. And I understand one thing, and this is even not beyond me. If you don't pay attention, you're going to have to pay for something soon. If you don't pay for your wellness, you will soon be paying for your illness, right? And I would rather go through a process with a community of people that I trust and believe, right? And we all elevate together, right? Now, if you don't want to elevate, that's perfectly fine. You take the information and you go. But you go to the rawveganchallenge.com right now, you be first in there, and you get to start preparing for the challenge that's going to start. You get to prepare because you got to prep for this. You got to prep for this. If you really want to take this experience, you got to prep for this, right? You got to prep for this. I'm going to put a banner out right now. Let me use this banner. There you go, guys. That's the banner that you can go to right now. All right, if you want to join this challenge. Now, like I said, once you join, is you get 14 days, just 14 days. Because I tell you, now let me go back to what I was saying before. Everybody's not going to do 90 days. What I want to do is I want to expose you. What I want to do is I want to expose you to what it could be. I want you to see what it feels like, right? I want you to see what you can actually do. I want you to get into that grounded space. I want you to get closer to yourself. I want you to start to clear out the inflammation. I want you to clear the mucus tract. I want you to wake up a couple of days and not feel all foggy headed and everything like that. I want you to understand that you can have the focus, you can have the diligence, you can pursue whatever you want to pursue. It's time to start removing the things, because sometimes I'm gonna tell you, getting better is not going to feel as good as you think it is, but it's definitely necessary, right? All right, so we said the link is not working. So guys, try to put www.rawveganchallenge.com then. Yeah, you got to put www. Put www. So let me ask you guys a question. I miss you guys too. And like Michelle said, yes, it's very cheaper to pay up front for your health than it is to pay on the back end with hospital bills, pains, and aches. Guys, when I went to physical therapy, I'm gonna tell you guys, when I went to physical therapy, it cost me thousands of dollars for them to tell me nothing and then to give me medication. Thousands and thousands of dollars. And I would have kept having to do that every single month. They tried to put me on this plan. And I was like, I'm done with this plan. Right? I'm done with this plan. I got to figure out my plan. I got to take the natural plan. I got to take the original design. Right? I can't keep going through this over and over again. Right? I can't keep going over this over and over again. Right? So we're going to talk even deeper on day 2 about how to detox your body on the cellular level. We're going to go even deeper. Right? We're going to go even deeper on day 2. But right now, if you want to hop in right now and start getting prepared, it's time. We're going to keep it going, guys. I told you I do this 3-day experience just because I want to do it. You get all the information you need, but I told you if you really want to take action, you want to double down with the community, you come in and you join, we lock arms and we do this together, right? At the platinum level, I'm doing live meditations, right? Cellular detox meditation. We're going to meditate. We're going to really go ahead and do this together, right? The original design is waiting for us, guys. And we're still here. Like, are we here? I'm here. I'm still here. Like, we can keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I said what I said, but we can keep it going. You know? So let me ask you a question. If it came down to you pursuing the life that you know is for you and all you had to do was take a step, would you take a step? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Would you take a step? Because it's going to get even realer. We need community support. We need all these things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just talk. Let me talk to you guys about some other stuff real quick as I close up. I'm gonna talk to you guys about some other stuff real quick, right? So that we know, because I want to give you guys some stuff that you can really take with you, right? There are banned foods. There are banned foods that we have here in America that are banned everywhere else, in Europe and places like that. Ritz crackers, Skittles, Wheat Thins, Frosted Flakes, Mountain Dew. U.S. chicken is banned in Europe because of the chemicals that we spray on it, right? Yellow 5, and we wonder why the kids are going crazy. We wonder why we're going crazy, right? We wonder. These things are banned, right? These aren't in the original design. These things are made in these labs. And these labs don't have our best interests in them. And they're banned in America, and we just eat them like there's nothing. And some of the foods that aren't banned, they have different types of them for Europe, Canada, and America. So certain things can be in ours that are detrimental to us, and they take those things out of them in other places. They already woke up. Yeah, the Skittles, the Ritz, all that. Go look it up. Y'all gotta look it up. Y'all ain't gotta ask me, right? Bro, I traveled around the country, and it's not this, y'all. The food ain't the same. It ain't the same here, right? It's different. That's the link, guys, right there. Make sure you put your HTTPSs. Make sure you put your wwws in there. All right. If you have an email, you will be it'll be emailed to you as well. But it's time to get in the game. No longer will you sit back on the sidelines. No longer will you just take and accept what comes for you. No longer will you just let your health be up in the air and let somebody else tell you what you need to do for yourself. No longer will you just engage in toxic environments and toxic people. Sometimes the food's toxic, the relationships are toxic, the friendships are toxic, and you be bringing that into 2024 thinking things are going to change. It's time to remove anything that's not in alignment with your life unapologetically. Design the life that you want for yourself and remove every single other thing that is not in alignment with that. That is how you're going to win. It is not going to be another prayer with toxic things around you. Prayer without action is dead. It's not going to be you being skeptical. It's not going to be you spending thousands of dollars on Louis bags and all these other things, and you won't invest in your health. It's not going to be you going to the fish fry and drinking all these other things and gossiping and doing all these things and then not investing in your health. It's not going to be you being good for 4 days and then thinking 3 days you can take off and then be undisciplined. It's not going to work. You have to get around community. You have to get around a coach, right? You have to get around people that are going other way. Anything that I lack in, I get a coach in that area. That's why I'm offering you the Raw Vegan Challenge. You have to have a coach. 14 days. Choose your level, general, VIP, or platinum. If you platinum, I'm giving you everything. I told you guys I'm a businessman, so I threw in a few programs on how I built my business. I was throwing programs on how to create a manifestation mindset, how to get out of victimhood, how to be the watcher of our emotions, how to change that state so we can elevate. How do we actually remove the blockages that we have that's keeping us from going to the next level? Because a lot of times we think everything that's stopping us is external, but it's really internal. It's the things that we have going on inside. That was one of the biggest keys to my success. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you guys Google me or look me up, you see the things that I've done. I'm gonna tell you, I've worked harder on myself than I've ever worked on any business. I promise you that. That's my way. Because I do have now, there are people that are more successful than me, but I know they're struggling with their mind, they're struggling with their weight, they're struggling internal, they're struggling with their confidence. They have to surround themselves by things to keep themselves going. I promise you, I stay in different rooms, right? But I like to come back to the ground level where everybody is, where everybody's going. I like to, whatever level you at, I want to meet you there because I want to show you that it's real. I'm a real guy. I'm a real guy. I'm not nothing out here. I'm not faking nothing. It ain't no props and never been a prop, right? When I realized that the key for my success was going to be following God's design for my life, I had to figure out because I almost crashed and burned. And guess what? Because I was following the things that they didn't want us to know. I was around all the things I didn't know. I was eating toxic food. I had toxic environments. Getting money though. Right? So we're going to get all of that. We're going to get all of that. We can get all of that. You can have everything. You can have the abundance for your life. They don't want us to know. Like, think about it. Why are all the liquor stores and dollar stores and all that, they all where we grew up at? A lot of us grew up in the hood. If you grew up in the hood, say I grew up in the hood. Just put in the hood. We grew up in the hood. We didn't know no better. I knew 25-cent oatmeal cream pies. I knew 50-cent Days sodas. I knew Rat Snacks, right? I'm thinking this is amazing. I go to school with $5. I'm up. I got a white t-shirt and an oatmeal cream pie and a hug, and I'm good. Now I'm back to the basketball court, not knowing I've been now indoctrinated into a system that's going to keep me as a slave. A modern day one, because I'm a slave to these foods, I'm a slave to these chemicals, I'm a slave to these toxins, right? All these things, right? I know we all, like, I see everybody, we outside. Like, if you really want to rep your hood, just type what city and state you came from. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Born and raised is where I was born, Philadelphia. I lived in Germantown. I lived in Southwest Philly. I lived in Delaware County. I lived in Yadin. I lived in Frankfurt. I lived in Logan, Philadelphia, right? Like we could do that right now, but we gotta make the change now. Today is the day you make the step. So you don't ask yourself when you join a coaching program. This is what I want to reframe, because I don't know if anybody's ever joined a coaching program. You don't ask yourself what is the cost of the program. Ask yourself, what's the cost if I don't? Like, what is the cost to me, right? What is the cost to me? So I'm gonna do a roll call right now. Who's with me? Who's changing? Who's ready? Who's elevating? If you signing up, if you plan on signing up, type elevate in the comments. Type some lightning bolts in the comments. Let's get this. Let's reframe this thing so we can all move together. Because once you in my ecosystem, you with me. You know, everybody that understands that we do things. There are live calls. There's things that happen inside the ecosystem. The G code. You in the ecosystem now. Right? Type some elevates in the comments, like this lightning bulb up, let people know, make this public declaration that you're going to take this step to change. We still got 2 more days of this. Oh, I'm still going to bring the heat 2 more days, but I need to know who's with me now, because you get the time to get prepared. You're going to take some time to get prepared for the challenge, right? Lightning bolts, elevate in the comments, lightning bolts, elevate in the comments. If you joining, lightning bolts, elevate in the comments. It's time for us to stop wasting our time. If you believe in me, I believe in you, right? I believe in you. I believe in you. It's time to grow some new fruit, y'all. We gotta plant new seeds, y'all. Right? 14 days of raw vegan coaching. 14 days. I'm putting detox-friendly workouts in there. If you want to work out, I'm putting 2 types of meal guides. So you can do the raw vegan detox meal guide. That's the cellular detox. If that's too crazy, you can just do the regular raw vegan meal guide. Right? You have scriptures for success. I'm putting an ebook in there called 40 Steps to Healing. Right? I wrote it. 40 Steps to Healing. Right, you're going to have an acidic versus alkaline lifestyle. It's going to be literally a guide that you can follow that'll tell you if you do this, you're acidic. If you do this, you're alkaline. So I want you to stay on the alkaline side, right? You're going to have levels of detoxification breakdown. There's also going to be me in the kitchen cooking, like G's Kitchen. It's called G's Kitchen. I go in there and I create meals on can for you, right? That's what's in the Raw Vegan Challenge. right? You got a workbook, a journal. I put a journal in there for you so you can journal throughout your experience. Like it's a private Telegram. Like I really went all in. And for people that upgrade to those other levels, you got courses, manifestation mindset. It's a 4-week course. You got social media monetization, because I don't want you just being on social media, being a product. I want you to be able to monetize social media. So I'm going to teach you what I've done over the last 10 years to build several companies. You're going to have that in there. You're going to have an idea to income blueprint. If you ever wanted to understand how to start a side business or a big business, like the real, not these Instagram people that be like, oh, Airbnb. No, I'm gonna give you the ins and outs frameworks on how to build real business. That's in the platinum level, right? So I threw everything in there. So I'm not trying to like tell y'all like, this is like, how long, this is like, how old am I? This is like 30 something years. This is like 25, 30 years of my life packed into one thing. For 14 days, you get all of it. You're gonna have access, right? You have access. Type some lightning bolts in the comments, man. You're going to have access to all of those things, depending on what level you choose. Make sure you read accordingly, choose level. I'm looking for some platinum, some VIPs. We're going up. It's lit. And when you see, you're going to go in there and you're going to see previous people that have taken the Raw Vegan Challenge. When the challenge actually starts, you're going to see their testimonies, right? And you're going to see the elevation. You're going to get in the Telegram group. It's going to be lit. Your guys going to be sharing food, sharing like victories, sharing recipes. Oh, I got all the recipes in there. I got raw vegan recipes. I got raw vegan smoothie recipes. Like I did all the work, y'all. I did all the work. That's what I do. I do the work. I'm not going to come to you guys with some trickiness. I did all the work, right? I did all the work, so you don't got to do the work, right? So go to www.rawveganchallenge.com, choose your level. We're going to elevate, guys. Day 2 is tomorrow, man. Day 2 is going to be such a blessing, man, because we're going to really go deep into how to detox your body on a cellular level. Like I said, guys, I have the program, but I'm not holding no punches. I'm telling you everything here too. The program is just about who really want to go with us. I'm giving you everything. So day 2, we're going to be talking about how to detox your body on a cellular level, what you need to do. And then day 3 is going to be special as well. Man, I feel like you guys are really here, man. We still here. I've been talking for a while, but it's going to be even more lit tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for getting on. I have extreme gratitude for you being here. And we're going to get it tomorrow on day 2, man. So who's showing up for day 2? Just drop some day 2s in the comments. Drop a 2 in the comments so I can make sure I know you're going to be here tomorrow. If you're signing up right now, I need you to go right now. Need you to go ahead and type that elevate, type them lightning bolts in the comments. We got to get that energy up, and we're going to get it tomorrow on day 2. All right. So listen, man, with that being said, today is over. Day 1 is over. Congratulations for making it to day 1. Day 2 is going to be lit. I need you guys to do me a favor. I need everybody to do me a favor. You can do me one favor. I really need you. If I'm going to do this for you, I need you guys to do this for me. Everybody that was on this live stream, I want this information to get out to even more people. Tell 5 to 10 people that they need to join you. Just send it to them. Like, hey, listen, join this. It's going to change your life. Because if you feel like your life was changed, drop some lightning bolts in the comments. Just from this one live stream, it was only an hour. If you feel like if your life was changed, I would just like to know. I just like to make sure I'm being of service is my main goal. Making sure that I am of service. If your life was changed in any aspect, drop some lightning bolts in the comments. That's all I want to know. And the only other thing I ask, I don't even ask that you sign up for the challenge. I promise you. Like, I really don't. I'm excited about it, right? Because it's something that I put together. I put a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of income, a lot of money to produce it, right? The way it is, and it cost me so much of that. But I'm excited about you guys being here, and I'm excited if I've changed your life in any moment, because I'm glad I could be a part of your journey. That's what keeps me going, right? That's what keeps me going, in full transparency. So if you join. I would recommend that you join. But if you don't, I just want to be here to make sure that I could be a vessel to bring you some awareness that could potentially take you to another level that you didn't even know exists, because I believe in you and I know you got it in you. I know you got it in you. So if you think your life will change today, wait till tomorrow, because it's going to get even better. All right. So with that being said, guys, right now, if you want to be early, you want to sign up and start getting prepared. If you're feeling the energy, go to www.rawveganchallenge.com. Check your emails. If you're having any issues, you should be good. Like, just go there, check your email. You can go ahead and get this thing going, right? So with that being said, guys, I'm really gonna get off here this time. I mean, y'all just here and I'm feeling the energy. It's great. With that being said, y'all know what I stand for. God, energy, elevation. That's the G code. I'll see you tomorrow on day 2. Peace. And make sure you tell 5 to 10 people to join us.